Hello students, we are going for the next multiple choice questions. So question number 23. When a flower can be divided into similar halves only in one particular plane, then it is. So here when we take a flower and cut the flower into two equal halves, in any plane, if it was any plane, it is called as radial symmetry. But the question here is only in one particular plane. So here the options are, the first one is zygomorphic. So the first one is zygomorphic. So zygomorphic is nothing but bilateral symmetry. So the meaning of bilateral symmetry, only in one particular plane it divides into two equal halves. Hence it is called as bilateral symmetry, or we use the word zygomorphic. The second one is called radially symmetry. Radially symmetry. So here the word radially symmetry, it can be cut in any plane. So in any plane it gives rise to two equal halves. Hence it is called as actinomorphic. Actinomorphic, or it is called as radial symmetry. And the third one is, again it is called as actinomorphic. Actinomorphic. So the word actinomorphic is again radial symmetry. So these two will not be the answers. So the fourth one is both 1 and 2. Fourth one is both 1 and 2. So this is wrong. The right option is only first option, called as zygomorphic. So the word zygomorphic, it cuts in only one plane. It gives rise to two equal halves. Hence we use the word zygomorphic flowers. Now we go for the next question, called as 24th. Radish. Radish, called as Raphanus sativa. Radish, Raphanus sativa. Radish has, the first one, napiform root. So the first option is napiform root, and the second one is called conical root. Conical root, and the third one is called fusiform root. Fusiform root, and the fourth one is tuberous. Tuberous root. So these are the four options. So radish is always called as fusiform roots. So here in a napiform root, you can see there is a presence of radical is giving rise to large swelling, and there is a presence of sudden tapering can be noticed, and this type of root can be noticed in the beetroot. So napiform root, you can see this is present in the beetroot. So this is called as napiform root. So when we go for a conical root, so the root here is usually radical, give rise to large swelling and leads to sudden taperings have been present, or gradual tapering can be seen. This is in carrot, called as Daucus carota. This is called as carrot. When we go for a fusiform root, so in a fusiform root, the radical give rise to narrow and gradual swelling and gradual tapering can be noticed like this. So here radical give rise to narrow swelling and gradual tapering. This is called as fusiform root, and example for this is radish, called as Raphanus sativa. In a tuberous root, the root is usually tuber-like structure. So like this, there is a presence of tubers or being present in a root. This is called as tuberous root, and this tuberous root can be noticed in Mirabilis. So this is Mirabilis jalpa, or commonly called as 4 o'clock plant. So in this there is a presence of tuberous root is present. So here the radish is called as fusiform root. So the third option is right. Third option is right. So we go for the next question called as 25. Nematophores are useful in. The word nematophores. So this nematophores are nothing but the trees grows in mangroves. So this mangrove trees, they produce a root like structures. So this is called as water. In a water they produce small stick like structures standing erect. So we know that the roots are always geotrophic. They move towards the gravity. But here the nematophores come out of the soil, and stand like a stick, and this nematophores has the presence of microscopic openings. So these microscopic openings are called as lenticels. Through the lenticels they help in exchange of gases. So here nematophores always helps in respiration. Here options, we are going for the options. Nematophores are useful in, the first option is respiration. So the respiration itself is the right answer, because nematophores helps in respiration. It takes in of oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide, that is through the lenticels. So first option itself is right. So we go for the second one called as transpiration. The word transpiration is nothing but the loss of water. So in the aerial parts of the plant body, like leaf, has a presence of stomata. Through the stomata the water is thrown out in the form of water vapor. Here in transpiration water is thrown out in the form of water vapor, and this water is always called as pure water. This is important. So transpired water is a pure water in the form of water vapor. When we go for the third option called as guttation. So third, here the first option is respiration, the second one is transpiration is nothing but loss of water, but the third option is called as guttation. Here the guttation is nothing but this, again it is a loss of water in the form of water droplets. Loss of water in the form of droplets, water droplets. Hence it is called as guttation. Here in the form of water vapor. In the form of water vapor, this has been removed, but here in the form of guttation. And this always takes place by hadathode. Here, when we see a monocot leaf, the apex of a monocot leaf, the tip of a monocot leaf has the presence of hadathode. Through this hadathode, the water is thrown out in the form of a droplet. So, usually guttation takes place in the evenings or night time, but can be seen in the early morning. So, when we walk in the grasslands early morning, we see that there is a presence of droplets present on the leaves. So, that is due to guttation, and the guttation water is always impure. It has a dissolved salts in it. So, it is a impure water. So, we go for fourth option. The fourth option is called as protein synthesis. Protein synthesis. So, this is not the answer, because in all the plant cells, all the cell, it may be animal cell, plant cell, protein synthesis takes place. But here, this is not the answer. Nematophores always helps in respiration. So, we go for the next question. Spines on the fruits of trapa. Spines or on the fruits of trapa. Water chestnut. Water chestnuts are modified as. So here the one word to be remembered called as trapa, called as water chestnut. So in this water chestnut, very important point, the roots are modified for photosynthesis. Here roots are green. Roots are green and they help in photosynthesis. So this is an important character here. So in trapa, roots are green in color and helps in photosynthesis. Here spines on the fruit of trapa. Spines. Here the question is spines on the fruit of trapa are modified as. The first one is styles. So the word style is nothing but styles. It is nothing but, as we know that, female, gynoecium, ovary, style and stigma. This is the one called as style, but not the answer. So when we go for the second one called as sepals. Sepals are nothing but calyx. Sepals are nothing but calyx. Here this is the right answer, because the spines are nothing but the sepals or calyx is modified into spines in the trapa. And the third option is petiole. So we know that petioles are nothing but corolla. Even this is not the answer. So when we go for the fourth option called as stamens. So stamens are nothing but, it is a part of androecium or male sex organ. So this is not the answer. The right answer is called as sepals. So we go for the next question. Hygroscopic roots occur in. Hygroscopic. So hygroscopic roots occurs in. So the first one is, first option is Vanda. This is called as epiphytic plant. It is a epiphytic plant which grows on the other plants and trees. So epiphyte is nothing but which depends or which grows on the other trees is called as epiphytic. In this epiphytic, there is a presence of velamen roots. So the roots are spongy. So here spongy roots hangs down, called as velamen roots. So this velamen roots absorbs the moisture and helps in respiration. So here, but here absorption of water, absorption of moisture, and it is applied to the plant for photosynthesis. So velamen absorbs the moisture. This is called as Vanda. This is one called as hygroscopic. They absorb the moisture from the atmosphere and it is applied for the plant for photosynthesis. So the first option itself is right. So we go for the second option called as Rhizopora. So this Rhizopora is nothing but a mangrove roots. Mangrove plant roots are called as Rhizopora. This is not the answer. Mangrove plant roots. So this is not the answer. So when we go for the third one called as Bryophyllum. So this Bryophyllum is nothing but a leaf helps in reproduction. Here the Bryophyllum, the margins of the leaf helps in reproduction. From here new plants arises. So this is called as Bryophyllum, but this is not the answer. So the fourth option is all the above. So this is not the answer. So the right answer is Vanda. This is a epiphytic plant. So we go for the next question, 28th question. Apocarpus condition is seen in. The word apocarpus, here the carpels are free. So when you take a gynoecium ovary, in this ovary if there are 3 carpels have been present, 3 carpels have been present, these carpels are free. It is not united. So this is called as apocarpus. Opposite to this word, there is a presence of syncarpus condition. This is called syncarpus. Here the carpels are fused. Carpels are fused. That is called a syncarpus. Here carpels are free. Carpels are free. This is called as apocarpus condition. So here the question is, apocarpus condition is seen in, the first option is lotus. The first option is lotus. So we know that it is present in a fresh water, stagnant water, lotus is present. So here the right answer itself is lotus. So we go for the second one called as mustard. So mustard is nothing but Brassicaceae. So here mustard has the presence of syncarpus. Here the carpels are fused. So it is called as syncarpus. So we go for the third option. The third one is called as tomato. The tomato is again, it is a syncarpus. Syncarpus condition. The fourth one is both 2 and 3. Both 2 and 3. So this is not the answer. The right answer is lotus. So we go for the next question. The ovary is half inferior in a flower. So the word half inferior, or we use a word semi inferior. Half is nothing but semi. Semi inferior, half inferior is nothing but perigynous ovary. It is nothing but perigynous ovary. So in a perigynous ovary, the thalamus is modified into half cup shaped. Thalamus, this is called as thalamus. The thalamus is modified into half cup shape. In this, there is a presence of ovary. So the ovary, this gives rise to a style and stigma. At the center of the ovary, all the other parts, all the other orals take its origin. For example, it is sepal, this is called as petal, and here stamens. So here, as we say, at the center of the ovary, all the parts, all the other oral parts arises, hence it is called as half inferior, or we use a word semi-inferior or semi-superior. Both are same. It may be called as inferior or it may be called as superior also. So it is called as semi-inferior or semi-superior, called as perigynous ovary. So here the options are. So the first option is Goa. So this Goa is a inferior ovary. It is not a semi-inferior, but it is inferior ovary. So when we go for the second one called as brinjal. So brinjal is superior ovary. Brinjal has the presence of superior ovary. And the third one is called as cucumber. So in a cucumber also, the ovary is called as inferior ovary. And next when we go for the plum. So this plum is usually called as semi-inferior, half inferior. So this is the right answer. So in a plum, you can see there is a presence of plum, peach and rosaceae. So in all this, we can see there is a presence of semi-inferior ovaries. So the right answer is fourth option called as plum. So we go for 30th question. Which one shows actinomorphic symmetry? So here the word actinomorphic. So here when you take a flower and cut into two equal halves, and this gives rise to two equal halves in any plane. So incidence it is called as actinomorphic, or it is also called as radial symmetry. So when you take a flower, cut in any plane, either it may be in a first radial, or we call it as any plane. When you cut, it gives rise to two equal halves, hence it is called as actinomorphic. It is represented by a circle with plus. So this is called as actinomorphic. Here the question is, which one shows actinomorphic symmetry? So the first option is guava. Guava has, as I mentioned here, inferior ovary, but here it is called as zygomorphic symmetry. Zygomorphic. It never gives rise to two equal halves, but in only one plane it gives rise to two equal halves, so it is called as zygomorphic. The second one is usually called as mustard. So mustard brassica, here the right answer is actinomorphic. So here the flower is cut into two equal halves, hence it is called as actinomorphic or mustard. So third one is called as bean. So in a bean, and there is a presence of zygomorphic flowers. Even this is not the answer, this is zygomorphic flowers. So when we go for the other one called as cassia, even this cassia is usually called as zygomorphic flowers. So here the right answer is called as actinomorphic flowers, can be noticed in mustard. So we go for the next question. 31. Nodulated root occurs in. The word nodulated root, the root at the tip, root axis or the tip has the presence of nodule like structures, swollen like structures, hence it is called as nodulated roots. So example for this is Leguminosae. So the word Leguminosae is nothing but has the presence of root nodules. The second one is called as Solanaceae. In Solanaceae, there is a presence of taproot system. There is no nodulated here. And the third option is called as Malvaceae. So Malvaceae also has the presence of taproot system, and fourth option is called as Papilionaceae. So Papilionaceae has the presence of again root nodules, helps in nitrogen fixation. So here the right answer for nodulated root is called as Papilionaceae. So in a Papilionaceae there is a presence of root nodules, helps in nitrogen fixation. So fourth option is right. So we go for the next one. Growth is maximum in zone of. So when we take a root, the root has the presence of three zones, three layers. The first one is called as, it is a zone of cell division. It is a region of cell division. Region of cell division. And the second one is usually called as zone or region of elongation. Region of elongation. And the third one is called as zone of maturation or region of maturation. Region of maturation. But here you should notice that from a region of maturation, root hairs are being present. Root hairs are present. Root hair region. Root hair region is called piliferous region. It is called piliferous region. So this to be noted, and it's very important. So root hair region is called as piliferous. So here the region of cell division is covered by a cap, and this cap is called as root cap. Root cap cells are called as calyptrogen. So root cap cells are called calyptrogen. So this should be remembered. Now we'll go for the question. Growth is maximum in the zone of, first one is cell elongation, So the second one is cell division, and the third one is cell maturation. So the first one here is, the first option is elongation. So we know that in a cell elongation, the rate of growth is maximum. Growth is maximum. So here we use the word maximum because once the water is constantly entering into a cell, the cells are bulged. Cells are bulged, called as turgidity. The word turgidity indicates swelling. So here constantly swelling, this leads to increase in the growth. Increase in the growth. When we go for the second one called as region of cell division. So region of cell division, here we call it as there is a presence of meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissue. Here the word meristem itself indicates division. Here the cell is dividing, but growth is not present. Growth is present in the elongation. So third option is called as maturation. So in a cell maturation, the cell attains maturity. Once the cell attains maturity, it has a definite shape and size. It has a definite shape and size is being present. So here there is no increase in the size of a cell. So here growth cannot be noticed. So only growth can be noticed in the cell elongation. So this is the right answer. So first option is right. Fourth one is all the above. So the right answer is cell elongation. So we go for 33. Spadix or inflorescence. Spadix or inflorescence with spathe occurs in. So here in a spadix inflorescence, you can notice there is a presence of spathe. So this spathe is nothing but a bract modified into boat shaped. Bract modified as boat shaped. This is called as spathe. So this spathe can be noticed in. So we go for the options. The first one is mulberry. Mulberry, called as Morus alba. Botanical name is Morus alba. This is not the right answer. The second option is called as banana. Musa paradisiaca. Musa paradisiaca. Banana. In this banana, you can see the flowers are covered by red color boat shaped structure called as spathe. So this is the right answer. So right answer is banana. So we go for the third option called as coriander. So even this coriander is nothing but a fruit which has two mericarps. Two mericarps have been present in coriander. In Kannada, dhania. So it has two mericarps, but this is not the answer. So we go for the fourth one called as Delaunay. This is nothing but cassia. So this cassia is commonly called as peacock. Peacock flowers. So even this is not the answer. So the right answer is called as banana. So we go for the next question. Spike. Spike with unisexual flowers. Here the spike, inflorescence is called as spike with unisexual flowers or catkin occurs in. Spike or catkin with unisexual flowers occurs in. The first option is mulberry. The first option is mulberry. The second option is called as grass. And the third option is called as wheat. And fourth option is called as callistemum. But this is nothing but bottle brush. So here the inflorescence will look like a brush, hence it is called as bottle brushes. Here spike or catkin inflorescence with the unisexual flowers can be noticed in the mulberry. So this is the right answer. So we go for the next question. 35. Parasites absorb nourishment from host by. Here the word parasite. So it is nothing but which depends upon other living organisms. So the word parasite which depends upon other for the nutrition or on the other living organisms, they are called as parasites. Question is, parasite absorb nutritions or nourishment from the host by. First option is Haustoria. So here the word Haustoria is nothing but a finger-like projections. So here when you take a epiphytic plant, here the plant encircles the host. This is called as host plant, encircles the host, and here it produces a finger-like projections. And these finger-like projections are called as Haustoria. They enter deep into the host stem. And absorb the nourishment. So here the first option itself is the right answer. So we go for the second option called as clinking roots. Clinking roots. So this clinking roots are always present in the epiphytic plants. Epiphytic means which depends upon other plant. They take a support on the other plant, hence it is called as epiphytic. You can see clinking roots have been present. So when we go for the third one is called as fibrous root. So this fibrous root is always present in the monocots. So this is not the answer. The next one is velamen roots. So in a velamen roots, again it is called as epiphytic plant or epiphytic, and the example is Venda. So this is not the answer. The right answer is called as Haustoria. So Haustoria produces a finger-like projections and penetrate into the host plant, hence it is called as parasitic. We go for 36. In Mimosa pudica, the placentation is. So here the word Mimosa pudica is called touch me not. Called as touch me not plant. So in this, placentations are, the first option is basal placentation. So here in a basal placentation, we know that there is a presence of ovules present at the base. So first option itself is right. In Mimosa pudica, the placentation is called as basal placentation. The second one is called as marginal placentation. So marginal placentation can be noticed in a pea plant, and there is a presence of the placentations towards one margin, hence it is called as marginal placentation. So when we go for the next option called as parietal placentation. In a parietal placentation, it can be noticed in cucumber. Here the placentations are present towards the periphery. It is present towards one corner's periphery, hence it is called as parietal placentation. The fourth one is called as axial placentation. This can be noticed in hibiscus. So here we see the placentation is present at the central axis, hence it is called as axial placentation. So this is not the answer. So here in Mimosa pudica, touch me not plant, there is a presence of basal placentation. So that is the right option. So we go for 37. modification of stem into leaf-like cladodes, leaf-like cladode is found in certain, first option hydrophytes, the second option heliophytes, third option xerophytes, and fourth one is hygrosophytes. So here the first option called as hydrophytes. So the meaning of hydrophytes, the plants are growing more in the water. So in the water like Pistia, Hycornia, Lotus, in all this there is a presence of hydrophytes. So second one is called as halophytes. So the word halophytes, the plants grows in marshy areas. Marshy areas or marshy places. So here the one of the example is called as bog plant. Example is bog plant. Here the example is Pistia, Lotus. And in the third one you can see there is a presence of xerophytes. Xerophytes are nothing but which grow in the dry areas. And the example for this is Opuntia, called as cactus. So when we go for the fourth option called as hygrophytes. So here the word hygrophytes, they grow in the wet regions. Here the plants grows in the wet regions called as hygrophytes. Example Adaxa. Example Adaxa. So here the right answer, the question is modification of a stem into leaf-like cladodes. Here the right answer is called as xerophytes. They grow in the dry areas. So xerophyte is the right answer. So we go for 38. Ovary having basal placentation. Here the word basal placentation, the ovules are present at the base of the ovary, hence it is called as basal. Ovules are present at the base of the ovary, hence it is called as basal placentation. The first option, monocarpellary bilocular. The second one is bicarpellary, two carpels are there. The word syncarpus, the carpels are fused, and unilocular, only one chamber is present, hence it is called as unilocular. Next, third option, multicarpellary, many carpels have been present, hence it is called as multicarpellary. The word syncarpus, carpels are fused, unilocular, only one chamber is present in the carpels. Next, syncarpus, fourth option, syncarpus, carpels are fused with two or more carpels. But here ovary having a basal placentation, the right answer is bicarpellary, syncarpus, unilocular. So second option is correct. Two carpels have been present, carpels have been fused and has a presence of one chamber in the ovary, hence it is called as unilocular. So second option is right. So we go for 39. Stem take part in storage and perinations. Here word perination. So what is the meaning of this word? So just we are going to see here. So here the ability of an organism to present or represent or to survive in one particular germination seasons to another. So it varies. So I am going to write this. It is nothing but the ability of an organism to survive from one germination season to another season. To another season. So this is called as perennation. I'll repeat the question. Stem take part in storage and perennation. The example is, or the question says, wheat. So wheat is not the answer. So wheats are nothing but grains. We know that. Wheat. The second one is called as groundnut. Here it is called as grain and this is called as nut. And the third one is called as radish. Here there is a presence of root modifications can be noticed. And in the next one called as ginger, here there is a presence of stem modification, underground stem called as rhizome. Here the right answer is called as ginger. So here the stem modifications can be noticed. Here grain, root, nut, but here the stem is ginger. Here the stem take part in storage is called as ginger and it also has perennation. So we go for 40th question. Read the following statement and find out incorrect statement. Find out the incorrect statement. I am going to read out the questions. The first one, both stem tendrils and thorns are the modifications of axillary buds. I will repeat this. Both stem tendrils and thorns are the modifications of axillary buds. So this is a right statement, but what we wanted is incorrect statement. So this is right. So we go for the second one. Thorns are woody, curved and pointed structures found in the citrus and bougainvillea for protecting them from the browsing animals. So here this statement, small mistake is there. Thorns are woody. There is a presence of curved, but it is not curved, it is straight. So here this word is wrong. Thorns are woody, straight. It is not curved. So this statement is called as wrong statement. I'll read out with a right word. Thorns are woody, straight and pointed structures found in the citrus and bougainvillea for protecting them from browsing animals. Third option, Opuntia and Euphorbia are found in arid regions. The word arid regions are nothing but dry regions. So here we know that they are xerophytic, dry regions. They contain chlorophyll in their stem and carry out photosynthesis. Yes, so as in Opuntia cactus, the stem helps in photosynthesis. They grow in a arid regions. Arid is nothing but dry regions. Hence this statement is also correct. So we go for stem tendrils are found in gourds, bitter gourd, all that, gourds and grapevines that are slender and spirally coiled helps to climb. Even this statement is right. The stem tendrils are found in the gourds and grapevines that are slender and spirally coiled helps in climbing. Even this is right. So here the incorrect statement is second one. Second statement is incorrect. We go for 41. Match the column 1 and 2. Choose the correct combinations from the options given. So here column 1, column 2. So I am giving you the right options. So in a first column there is a presence of pumpkin. So this pumpkin, the right option is help in climbing. Help in climbing. So this is the right option. So when we go for the second one called as citrus. Here the citrus helps in protection from browsers. Third option turmeric. So turmeric, the right option is storage of food. And in the fourth one, jamaican. So here the right option is organ of perination. Organ of perination. Already have mentioned what is perination. Is nothing but an ability of an organism to survive from one generation to another is called as perination. So organ of perination. So this is the right matching. So this right matching can be seen in the second option. So second option is right. So we go for 42. Pulvinous is found in. The word pulvinous is nothing but swollen base, leaf base, or swollen. Pulvinous is nothing but swollen sheeting base or leaf base is called as pulvinous. So this pulvinous can be noticed in first option, calotrophes. So calotrophes is in Kannada we call it as ekkegida. So that is called as calotrophes. It is not the answer. The second one is called as ocimum, tulsi gida. So even this is not the answer. The third one is called as legume plant or leguminaceae, legume plant. So this legume plant can be noticed in beans. So in this there is a presence of pulvinous. So here the right option is legume or legume plants. There is a presence of the pulvinous leaf base can be noticed. So the fourth option is Halstonia. So Halstonia is commonly called as devil tree. So Halstonia, devil tree, that's not the answer. So 42, the third option is legume, or we call it as leguminaceae or legume plant. So this is the right option. So we go for 43. In Utricularia. So Utricularia is one of the insectivorous plant. Here Utricularia is commonly called as bladderwort. Bladderwort. The question is, in Utricularia, leaves are modified to form. Leaves are modified to form. The first option is bladders. The second one is tendrils. Third one is called as hooks. And fourth one is called as pitcher. Pitcher is nothing but vessel, leaf lamina. But here leaves are modified into. So the right option is bladder. So Utricularia is called as bladderwort because here the leaves are modified like a bladders. So the right option is first option. So we go for 44. Match the following, column 1 and column 2. So here I am writing the right option. So the first one is flattened stem. The first one is flattened stem. So the flattened stem can be noticed in. So the first option is flattened stem. This can be noticed in Opuntia. Opuntia. The second one is cylindrical stem. Here the stem is cylindrical and this can be noticed in the bougainvillea. Bougainvillea. And the third one is stem tendrils. The stem tendrils, this can be noticed in grapevine. Grapevines. And the fourth one is called as thorns. And this thorns can be noticed in Opuntia. open shear. So here the first one is open shear, the second one is bougainvillea, and fourth one is grapevine, and the other one is open shear. So here the right option is second one. Second one is the right option. Here in the third one he has given about euphorbia also. So the answer is euphorbia is also present. Euphorbia, even this is present. So here the second option is the right one. So we go for the last one. The pattern of arrangement of leaves on the branch. The pattern of arrangement of leaves is known as, the first one is venation. The word venation is nothing but arrangement of veins and veinlets is called as venation. Here you can see there is a presence of reticulate venation or parallel venations that can be noticed. The second one is called as phyllotaxy. The word phyllotaxy is nothing but arrangement of leaves on the nodal region of stem, that is called as phyllotaxy. And the third one is inflorescence. Third option is inflorescence. So inflorescence is called as the cluster or bunch of flowers. Cluster or bunch of flowers is called as inflorescence. The study of inflorescence is called as anthotaxy. The study of inflorescence is called as anthotaxy. And fourth one is called as vernation. The fourth one is vernation. Here vernation is nothing but arrangements. Arrangement can be seen in the bud. Arrangement of flower buds. That is called as vernation, or you can see young leaves in the leaf buds also can be noticed. So here the right answer is phyllotaxy. So the pattern of arrangement of leaves on the branches is always called as phyllotaxy. This completes first level.